Good morning. Today I will be presenting about IKEA. Specifically, we will be discussing IKEA's entry into the Philippines, the opportunities and challenges that comes with that, of course, relative to the IKEA brand and their positioning in the Philippine market. More importantly, however, the points that I illustrate in the next few slides or so, uh, they will culminate toward the way in which IKEA capitalized on the transformative power of data-driven decision making, or DDDM, or triple D M. We'll be calling it data-driven decision making to make things simpler. And beyond that, I also go over the strategies that IKEA should prioritize moving forward, which, as you'll find, will be relative to the data-driven decision making points that I make throughout the presentation. So, without further ado, let me first give you an overview of IKEA Philippines. IKEA has expanded to multiple markets globally. The inauguration of their largest store in Pasay City in the Philippines was not just another store opening. The store has a vast space of 65,000 square meters, which is the size of the Palace of Versailles. It stretches across 5 floors in a mall complex, nestled against Manila Bay, and that's a testament to their appeal to the Filipino people by making their store more like a mega mall, which is pretty prominent in Asia in general. And it's a testament to IKEA's commitment to the understanding and their adaptability uh, toward new markets. And what makes IKEA's commitment even more compelling is that they were able to launch their store and secure foothold within the Philippine market during the later phases of COVID. And we'll discuss that a bit more later as we delve deeper into the layers of strategy, research, and innovation behind uh, IKEA's entry into the Philippines. And to get into that more in the next slide, let's go over the economic and demographic landscape of the country. As an archipelago, the Philippines has over 7,000 islands, and with a population surpassing 100 million, it's a market that's hard to ignore, especially for companies that are internationalizing their efforts. The steady GDP growth, also combined with a predominantly young demographic, paints a picture of a nation that is on the rise, and urbanization trends and the burgeoning middle class with their increasing disposable income further accentuates the market potential of the Philippines. Notably, the country is predominantly Catholic and holds mainstream concepts at heart, probably due to the westernization of the country. Now, let's move on to the market potential and consumer behavior on the next slide. According to a report, the Philippines surpasses its Southeast Asian counterparts in terms of GDP growth. As for urbanization, the Philippines has a tech-savvy youth that has altered market trends in the Philippines. And in terms of IKEA's tech-forward approach, this bodes well for IKEA because it appeals to them and it allows IKEA to garner early adopters in these younger individuals that will eventually allow them to appeal to other cohorts, perhaps older ones. So to that I say innovation fits urbanization, and it's not just about the products that IKEA offers. It's about the prestige of the brand that IKEA offers. And that captivates the Filipino pride. And in such a culture where pride is valued, IKEA is not just it's not just a store. It's an aspiration. Now that we cover that, let's delve into the challenges that IKEA faces in the next few slides. The first challenge is about logistics, particularly because the Philippines is an archipelago. And so moving products from, for instance, Luzon to Mindanao can pose as a challenge. And if you have consumers ordering from multiple provinces throughout the Philippines, from different islands, then that can be even more challenging. In addition to that, the existing infrastructure, though developed, is not as developed as IKEA would like them to be. So, for a brand like IKEA, which promises timely deliveries, navigating this type of terrain requires meticulous planning and innovation. Another challenge is about supply chain. Recent global trends have shown a strained supply chain globally, and IKEA Philippines has not been spared from that. The transport crisis, for instance, in terms of container shortage, port congestion, and lockdowns, has hit IKEA hard, and it's still affecting IKEA. Despite the challenges, including the demand from some Western entities ordering from IKEA Philippines, IKEA Philippines remains proactive. For instance, they've urged understanding from customers that their stock will be available and is on demand. As for social and cultural challenges, we can boil it down to one theme for simplicity. That is, Filipinos deeply value pride and they want to avoid anything that might seem shameful, which is not uncommon in Asia. So while IKEA's products are top notch, if it doesn't scream prestige, for instance, it might get a cold shoulder from Filipinos. And if IKEA goes too local with their designs, they risk losing that global cool factor that IKEA offers. So balancing local taste with their global brand is a vibe that IKEA should be shooting for, and it still poses a challenge, even though IKEA has secured foothold in the Philippines. Now that we've covered the challenges, let's talk about IKEA's strategy. IKEA's success in the Philippines was a result of extensive market research, consumer surveys, and local collaborations. In essence, data collection. They did not just bring their global catalog to the Philippines, they adapted it. They ensured that the products catered to the local taste and the needs of the Filipino people. They committed to the country. And by committing to the evolving Filipino consumer, they were able to secure foothold within the country. Now, in the next slide, let's go over how IKEA can move forward and further capitalize on data driven decision making data. In terms of how data driven decision making can help IKEA moving forward, let's apply it to the challenges I discussed earlier. Number one, since the global supply chain is in turmoil, IKEA can make use of the data driven decision making framework by monitoring real time metrics relative to its challenges. And this will output data that will turn into insights, and insights that can be used or plugged into predictive models that can help to predict disruptions and perhaps allow IKEA to adjust their strategies, potentially leading them to consider other options, other local suppliers, or other routes when applicable. The second thing is going back to the Filipino sense of pride and cultural values. By analyzing customer feedback and in-store behavior, IKEA can adapt their products to resonate with these values. And it becomes so that it's not just about selling furniture anymore. IKEA then gets themselves in the business of aligning the experience they provide to the customers with local sentiments. Of course, this will be relative to market trends too. The last thing I wanted to discuss is growth. IKEA has to grow, and to grow, IKEA has to compete. And even though local competitors have their strengths, IKEA can strive to expand their reach by using data driven decision making to monitor market trends and competitor strategies. For instance, observing how platforms like Shopee and Lazada appeal to Filipinos can offer insights, and this could lead to price adjustments, product placement, or other avenues of marketing. And all these efforts are intended to make IKEA a top choice. By harnessing data, IKEA has navigated cultural nuances, supply chain challenges, and sustainability demands. And such efforts, in essence, allows any given company to use data to their advantage. As IKEA continues to grow in the Philippines, their data driven approach serves as a beacon for global brands aiming for success in new markets. Any questions?